Exclusively Yours and Unconditionally Mine are two new romance novels filled with love, hate, and passion. Both were written by Nadine Gonzalez, who's joining me now. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nadine, you were born in New York to Haitian parents.
Yes.
Did living two different worlds inspire you to write?
Oh, I guess so. My life has always swung between two cultures, I think. And the stories that I could tell are unbelievable. So I guess getting them into story form, written page, that always interested me. Yes, I think so.
Oh, wow. And you are a lawyer. Now, how does a lawyer become a writer?
Oh, it's how does a writer become a lawyer, really. I was always interested in writing and current events and trying to figure out, well, how can I support myself? These things don't naturally lend themselves to paychecks. So I had to keep going back to school, learning, getting degrees, establishing myself so I could be comfortable. That's, I think, the burden of being the child of immigrants. You have to do the practical thing before you do the fanciful thing.
Yes. First.
I had to support myself and get health insurance before I could ever allow myself to write in a serious way.
And did you watch a lot of soap operas growing up?
Oh my God, my mother loves soap operas. So I was raised on soap operas. And like the theme song of All My Children is probably the soundtrack of our childhood.
And you still remember it, I bet.
We still remember it, and I know the names of the characters. So writing stories with a lot of romantic tension was like a natural fit for me.
And where do you draw your inspiration from? Is it New York or is it the sexy city like Miami?
Well, like New York, the memories are so far away, and Miami is immediate for me.
Oh, yes.
So Miami is like the one city that I made my home. So I had to negotiate Miami on my own terms. I had to figure out the lay of the land. I had to get to know the people, find out where I fit in. So all those concerns and questions figure their way into my writing.
And I noticed that in both these books, the backdrop is Miami.
Yes.
When did you move down to Miami, and why is that the backdrop is Miami specifically?
Well, I think I grew up and became an adult here. I moved in 2000, year 2000. It was Y2K. That was the whole thing. And also, when I started working, I got my first adult job here in the city, and the skyline started to grow around me just miraculously. The buildings were coming up, the cranes downtown, Brickell was transforming, and so was I. And so those are the stories that I want to tell.
Wow. Let's talk about Exclusively Yours.
Let's.
Now, the main character falls in love with the boss. How risky is that considering this Me Too movement?
That is extremely risque, but when I was writing it, there was no Me Too movement.
Okay.
But I was reading romances set in the office and thinking, this is not realistic at all. Women were having affairs with bosses all the time.
And it still happens today.
And I thought, well, you know, is this how it really works out? Like, do you just waltz in and marry the billionaire CEO? No, there's a lot of drama that goes with it. So I was trying to write a story that was more realistic, an office romance that's more realistic. There are consequences. They do have their affair, and there are consequences. They pay the price for it.
Absolutely. Now, on Unconditionally Mine,
yes.
What can you tell me about the main character, Sophia Silva?
Sophia Silva is so much fun. She was, in book one, she is the main character's best friend, and I did not intend to develop her any further. But when I pitched the book, they asked me for a follow-up. So I just said, okay, I have Sophia, and she's going to go. And I had to just come up with her story right there on the fly. However, Sophia was more challenging for me. She had a more fun career. She's an event planner. And I had the opportunity there to create a businesswoman. She is not having an affair with her boss. She is her own boss.
She is the business.
She is the boss, right? And she meets someone who is a very sort of sassy, charismatic, a Miami lawyer, and they start to spar because they are both headstrong and they are both independent. And that's a different dynamic than Exclusively Yours.
And I understand that this is a series of books.
Yes.
Are there more books that are coming up with the same characters?
No, this series is inclusive. It's book one starts the story and it wraps it up nicely in book two, so you know where all our characters land and you see how their stories end.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. Mm-hmm. And you've started writing from an early age.
Yes.
But I understand that you then went to be a lawyer.
Yes.
Why is that? Why did you kind of not really focus on writing and then focus on becoming a lawyer?
I really didn't trust my talents as a writer to go all the way. I considered getting a master's in fine arts in writing, but I didn't believe that I could make it as a writer full time. So that's fine because that's where I was then. And who knows, maybe I would have pursued it and it would have worked with
time. And look at you now, 2 romance novels
yes.
at the same time.
Yes, but
phenomenal work.
Thank you.
And I just want to find out, do you think it's harder writing, romance than it is writing nonfiction?
Writing nonfiction is really hard for me. If I write a story or tell a story that's true, then you're delving into your past, your own shortcomings.
Yeah.
You have to be as honest as you can. It's not a fluff piece about yourself, about how wonderful your life is. It's about the truth of your experience.
Absolutely.
So writing nonfiction is harder, yes. Writing romance is an escape.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
You just want to be in this world of love.
Yes, where everything works out fine.
Absolutely. Nadine, I'd love to sit here all day and talk to you, but unfortunately, we have come to the end of this episode. So until next time, remember that the 35th Miami Book Fair begins Sunday, November 11 and ends with the Weekend Street Fair extravaganza beginning Friday, November 16th until Sunday, November 18th. This is an event for the entire family.